Covington Cloysters here, and today we are doing the Week 6 match with Cryptic as the post-com. I'm excited for this match. This is one of my best friends in the league, and I just hope that this match ends up turning out well. We are 3-2. He is 5-0, so we got a big match under our hands. We decided to lead with our Drampa, considering that we figured his leads were either Lando, T, or Rotom Wash. It ended up being Rotom Wash, so he ended up Volt Switching. And Volt Switch is actually okay with us. It was a crit though, so we know how much damage Volt Switch is doing. Absolutely nothing to us. And we decided to Calm Mind, forgetting Cobalion was a thing, and Cobalion gets close combat, Iron Head, and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yikes, I forgot that was a good viable switch for him. And as I do that, I end up getting Leftovers Recovery, which is good, I guess. And then I end up swapping into our Slowbro with Regenerator, which is awesome. And I figured he would click Close Combat, so, you know, might as well. We predict the Close Combat, and it only does 40 points of damage. We find out that our Rocky Helmet hits, which is great. Obviously, our Rocky Helmet would hit, and so that's good. Rocky Helmet. We find out he's Life Orb, so that's even more damage. He takes about 26% every time, because it's 16% and 10% for Life Orbs, so that's not good for him. We throw off a Scald here, predicting a switch, so might as well get some damage off on something. He went into his Reuniclus. I'm like, okay, this is what 100% gonna have Shadow Ball, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna switch. I think I swapped. I better have swapped. He swaps into Maytag, and I switch out into what? Oh, my Scrafty, which has Intimidate, which doesn't matter for this Pokemon, for Rotom Wash, but I'm gonna pop the swap again and go into my Drampa, and Drampa ends up doing some good damage. He ends up using Thunder Wave, and that sucks because we're lower speed, but out of any Pokemon on our team, we brought a really slow team this week, so it's okay for us to have like a little bit of a speed drop, in my opinion. So he's gonna Volt Switch again, which is fine. This time the Volt Switch is doing like less than 20, or it's like 20 something, which is fantastic for us. And he goes into his Pokemon that we pretty well expected. It was gonna be his Cobalion. We just Dragon Pulsed, which is just fine by me. We got some damage off, dropped him a little bit lower. Sorry, I'm like messing with this. I probably shouldn't. We got the Leftovers Recovery, which is just amazing. He swaps into Maytag again, predicting our switch this time, which we did. We did switch into our Slowbro, which means that put us in a little bit of a tough spot. We're still at 6-6. We're kind of reading each other, seeing how we play, which is always fun to do. You know, you just want to see how your opponent's playing, and we go back into our Drampa, which would make 100% sense that we did. So, Volt Switching, and he's going to go back into Cobalion. The beginning of this match was very tiptoe, I guess. And that's kind of what happens when you're going against a friend in the league. Matches can be very tiptoe like this, but we haven't really fought each other very much. We've only fought each other one other time. And that was in a league where I didn't get to pick my Mons. This time I picked my Mons, so I know how I want to run them. I go to Slowbro, which is just fine. We end up doing everything we need to do. Close Combat does again a swift actually that was 43. So the other one was the low roll. But he loses defenses. He gets Rocky Helmet damage. He pops off with regular 8 or like Life Orb damage. So he's in the red, and he withdraws. And I was like, okay, I figured he would stay in and just sack the thing, but he didn't. But I ended up just slacking off because I just wanted because if he was gonna sack it, might as well slack off. Obviously, he did not sack it, so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to switch out back into my primary switch, into Drampa, and I don't care if you Volt Switch, I'm still at 108. Volt Switch is still going to chip me down. It's going to drop me down to 84. Still hasn't even brought me to half yet. And so he sends out his, Leo, and then I'm like, okay, Close Combat, what are you going to do? I think you're going to try and not Close Combat this time. I don't know. So I swapped out into Haxorus forgetting I was the D-Dance set this week and not the Choice Scarf set. If I was a Scarf set, we would have been just fine. Well, he did Stealth Rock, so we predicted correctly. We just brought the wrong kind of set for this week, which sucks. And he uses Close Combat, which is like, oh, great. I definitely needed. That does so much damage that we could have avoided if we were just Choice Scarfed. And he loses HP, and we Dragon Claw, and we get the first kill of the match. And that's kill number 1 down. There goes Cobalion. Haxor is losing some HP because we're Life Orb this week. Not the right set to bring. He goes into Eugene, and he just U-turns. I sacked this thing. Kind of wanted to see what kind of momentum he was going to try and use. I figured he was either going to use a U-turn or something else like that. So we find out that he's going to go into Jafar. That's his, what's it called? Landorus. So we go into Drampa because I thought Intimidate actually worked. It doesn't actually work if you, there's nothing on the field. It's on his switch in. So he ends up, you know, he U-turns. I'm going to Ice Beam here. And Ice Beam does a good chunk to everything on his team besides, of course, Eugene. But Ice Beam, he's gonna do about 10%. But I get the freeze of all things. I was happy about this freeze, but obviously I was like, okay, we still have to play it safe. I know that I live any move that he does right now because I'm built to live moves. But just in the case, I roosted because I needed to, just in case he just thawed out turn 1. Because he's not going for a fire type move, or he would have thawed out turn 1. So he's staying frozen. He continues to stay frozen, and I just Dragon Pulse. We're neutral right now. I thought we were +1, but we're neutral at the current moment, and then that drops you to half, and leftovers is still recovering. We're almost at full now, and we're just going to keep firing off Dragon Pulses. This is turn 3 of his being frozen, which I'm like, I feel bad at this point, because after being frozen for like 3 turns, I'm just like, oh, yikes. You know, I mean, I kind of like sleep. So I just assumed, you know, this turn he would break out and use whatever he was trying to use against me. And I'm like, I have no idea what you were trying to use against me. And he stayed frozen. So that sucks for him. We end up getting another kill off. So we're down to 2 kills. We're up to 2 kills here. And Eugene is gone. So his Victini and his Cobalion are out of the match. Can't do anything at this point. So that's exciting news for us. He's going to go into Brick, which is his Stakataka, his newly picked up Stakataka. People have a trend of just picking up a Mon when they're facing me, which is kind of annoying because I have to prep for it. But that's okay. This is the second time this year I've had to do that. So we go into our Intimidating Mon. I figured Intimidate was going to help, but this thing's got a massive attack stat because that still did about half. Yeah, that did a lot. And then he swaps into Jafar. I predicted the swap into Jafar, so I bulked up because I was like, okay, I do not see you trying to gyro ball. So I bulk up here, and that neutralizes my attack but raises my defense a stage, which can be proved very useful. And he decides to Earthquake, which we already know from Showdown Calcs, Earthquake's doing 22%. So that's fine. We can live it. And our Figgy Berry pops, and we go up to 103 HP, and we Ice Punch. So that turn went perfectly for us. Showdown Calcs and Showdown Prep, perfect for that. We figured that would happen. That was a matchup that I had anticipated seeing. That's what happened. So he U-turns, and I'm like, okay, what are you U-turning into? And then he probably figured I was going to click Ice Punch again, which was smart because I did. I should have knocked off because that would have killed anyway, and it was better for his entire team. But that's okay. We get about, we got a crit, so that did about 18%, 19%, and then leftovers recovery. And I stay in here, so I'm like, might as well stay in. Oh, I'm yawning! And so I do end up staying in and just clicking knock off, or yeah, I think I clicked knock off here, because that still kills. Yeah, we click knock off here. That kills Jafar, and there's 3 Pokemon down, And I'm like, okay, we have six Pokemon still, or no, 5 Pokemon still alive, and we're not doing that bad. So Maytag comes out. We swap because we need to preserve this thing for the Reuniclus. Reuniclus is going to be a little bit of a problem. So we go into our hard counter for Rotom Wash. This thing was probably the best thing at stopping his entire game plan, which I was so glad. He went into Brick this turn though. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're going to try and do. You've already got rocks up. You've got a bunch of things that I don't really want to do. So I swap. This time, though, I swap into Slowbro. Because, Gyro Ball is resisted and Rocky Helmet damage. He uses Stone Edge. And I'm like, oh no, how much is this going to do? It did a swift. It dropped us down to 68. So he withdraws and goes into Maytag. And I don't know what I did here. I want to say I scalded. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I scalded. Did some damage. Might as well. That brought him down to half, though. I was kind of surprised because... Oh, it was another crit. That's why. 2 crits on this Rotom. And this Rotom is dying to crits at this point. I'm like, oh, yikes. I swap this turn because Regenerator, I get health back. So I go into Venusaur. Because, again, Venusaur kind of pseudo-walls this. Which is good. Volt switching, that's fine with me. Volt switch does like 19%. We brought a team that is super not weak to Volt Switch, which is kind of crazy. And so he goes into Jello, his Reuniclus, and his Reuniclus is really one of his final hopes at this point, because we got something that's fighting type that's quad weak to stack attack up. We got Maytag, which Maytag could be a problem, but we have a lot of resistances, so this is his best switch. And I was expecting like a Psychic or something like that, and so I Giga Drained. So I'm like, okay, let's get some health back, see if we can lift something from full. We're almost full. And he ends up Shadow Balling and not Psychicking. So I'm like, okay, do you not have Psychic? Or are you like a pure stall Pokemon? I'm not sure what you're trying to run. He was trying to predict a switch into Slowbro, which I didn't do. And so we brought him into the red. And I was like, oh, darn it. They're both Shadow Ball or Giga Drain and Sludge Ball might have done more, and I was like, darn it! I wish if I would have just Sludge Bombed, I could have gotten that. And he's recovering at this point, and I threw off a Toxic. The reason why I threw off a Toxic, I know this thing gets Magic Guard, but I'm like, is he the Magic Guard set? Most people run that. I want to know, and so we find out he is Magic Guard, so we don't have to worry about that other ability. Which I don't even remember what that other ability is at this point. I'm like, okay, why would I Toxic when I can just pressure with, whatever, Sludge Bomb. We just keep Giga Draining, and this is when he decides Calm Minding is a good idea, and it is a good idea, and I like the play very much, and he's at +1/1 now, and I'm like, oh, is this my end? Because... Oh, good. Fuck. Is this my end? And I'm like, I hope it's not, because this is an important match for me. And to be up 5-3 right now is very good. I've had the lead in this match. We Sludge Bomb, and we learned that we should have Sludge Bombed. But this is stuff that we can learn for later matches if we get the chance. Hopefully we can prevail. Our Covington Cloysters can prevail and get there. And he's going to continue. I'm going to switch this turn. I figure he's going to throw off a Recover. He's not going to hurt me. And if he does, good play. And we Intimidate. It doesn't matter because you're Reuniclus, you're a special attacker. But he does end up recovering. This is because this is like his one mon that he can't do anything with this. Never mind. And so I end up throwing off a Swift knockoff after, leftovers recovery, because this is going to be half the battle. So I throw a Swift knockoff out here. And it does a ton. It does about 60%. Knocks off leftovers, so he can't recover that. He throws off a Shadow Ball, and I'm like, okay. We lived on 1. We lived on 1. And we killed this thing. This match was very lucky, in my opinion, for me. That was a very lucky beginning match. And so he goes into Maytag. We pretty much sacked this thing. We should have preserved it, I think, though, because we have a lot of answers in like Mega Venusaur and stuff like that, but he Volt Switched into his Brick, which is a good play for him at this point. And we went to Venusaur because we're like, okay, Mega Venusaur, we should be able to do something with it. Who knows? Sorry, I'm yawning for like years. And we Giga Drain. It is not. I don't think it's super effective. Was it? No, it's neutral. Any Trick Rooms, and I'm like, okay, Trick Room, what are you gonna do? I know this could do a lot. Trick Room Stack Attack is scary. He Gyro Balls, and I'm like, how much is this gonna do? And this does a lot of damage. Not as it does a ton. It's more than I thought, and it gets it down to 60. And Slowbro is doing this a lot this season. He's been doing a good job at this. I swap into Slowbro because I figure Slowbro takes a Gyro Ball and the Rocky Helmet damage kills it. Slowbro has been the master of Rocky Helmet kills this season for us, and he gets another one here. And I'm like, yes! So Slowbro has pretty much passively killed 2 of his mons. I mean, technically, Haxorus is credited for the kill of Cobalion, but that was mostly work of Slowbro. And so, if you look at it that way, Slowbro has been amazing for this team. And so we just swap into our Drampa. He uses T-Bolt. That's not super effective. It's doing about 40%. We get the Berserk off, so we are +1. And just in case we got paralyzed, because that would happen to me, I ended up going for a Roost. And yeah, I ended up going for a Roost just in the case that I get paralyzed. The Roost ends up bringing us about... It brings us up to 154. Obviously, it brings us to full. Hydro Pump comes out. And Hydro Pump does a decent amount of damage. I mean, not really that bad. I mean, I'm saying decent amount. It's about 40 points of damage. It's about as much as a crit Volt Switch did. So, I mean, Drampa really did his job. I forgot I was faster. I could have just thrown off a Dragon Pulse and won, but it's okay. Now he hits me, and I end up going ahead and Dragon Pulsing now, and that brings us all the way down to, it brings him down to dead, and we win! We beat the undefeated 5-0 team, so we are 4-2 now, and we're having a good year. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye!